The story begins as a young couple moves into a new apartment, ready to start a new chapter in their lives. The wife is very particular about cleanliness. She keeps every corner of the house neat and organized, making sure everything is in its proper place. She also loves decorating their home with fresh flowers, adding a touch of color and warmth to every room. Later, the couple sits down together to have tea. As they chat, the wife notices a small piece of paper lying on the floor. She immediately picks it up and drops it into the dustbin without a second thought. Turning to her husband, she gently reminds him to be a little more careful and to help in keeping the house clean and tidy. Suddenly, loud noises start coming from the adjoining apartment. The disturbance quickly irritates the husband, and his annoyance becomes evident. Finding it difficult to ignore, he decides to take action and goes to file a complaint with the landlord. The next day, the wife goes to the garbage room to throw out the trash. As she looks around, she feels a sense of disgust at the mess scattered all around her. Just as she turns to leave, a man stops her. He introduces himself as their next-door neighbor and brings up the complaint her husband made to the landlord about the noise. He tells her firmly to mind their own business. If they have any problem, they should come to him first instead of going to the landlord. His tone unsettles her, and she feels a sudden sense of fear. She quickly agrees to what he says, not wanting to escalate the situation. Without saying anything further, she turns and leaves the area in a hurry. The wife returns to the apartment, still shaken and unsettled. The husband, getting ready for the office, notices her expression and asks if she is okay. She pauses for a moment, then chooses not to tell him about the incident with the neighbor and assures him that everything is fine. After seeing him off to work, she quietly returns to her household chores, trying to carry on as usual. As she continues cleaning the house, the doorbell rings. She goes to check and finds a delivery man standing outside with a package. When she says they didn't order anything, he explains that it belongs to the next-door neighbor, who isn't home at the moment. He asks if she could receive it and hand it over later. Though hesitant at first, she pauses for a moment before finally agreeing. She takes the package and closes the door, now responsible for handing it over on the neighbor's behalf. Later, she goes to the neighbor's apartment to hand over the package. As she approaches, she notices garbage bags piled up outside, and the area appears quite unclean. She knocks on the door, and the neighbor opens it. She tells him that she received a package for him while he was out, and he thanks her for it. After a brief exchange, he invites her inside his apartment to discuss matters related to health and hygiene. Later that night, the husband goes to bed, but the wife does not feel sleepy. She lies awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind replaying the conversation she had with the neighbor about health and hygiene. The discussion lingers with her, offering a new perspective on cleanliness and making her reflect on both its advantages and its drawbacks. After a few days, the wife once again goes to the neighbor's apartment. She knocks on the door, and he opens it, asking what the matter is. She tells him that she would like to continue their earlier discussion on health and hygiene. The neighbor invites her inside, and they begin talking about those matters again. As the conversation unfolds, he shares his views on hygiene, ideas that are quite different from anything she has considered before. She listens closely, intrigued by his perspective and curious to understand more. At home, later that night, the husband gets ready for bed and asks the wife how her day went. She responds enthusiastically, telling him that she had an excellent day and got the chance to learn many new things. Her tone is lively, and she seems genuinely engaged by what she experienced. She appears excited about what might come next and looks forward to exploring and learning even more in the days ahead. As time passes, the couple settles into a happy and comfortable routine. They spend their days together, going for long walks, talking for hours, and enjoying each other's company. Their bond appears strong, and they seem genuinely content with their life. From his balcony, the neighbor occasionally watches them. Later, he sends a message to the wife, asking her to meet him again for another discussion on health-related topics. Back at home, the wife notices a message from the neighbor. She tells her husband not to wait up for her, explaining that she has to step out for an important meeting. The husband agrees, though he seems a bit curious. As he looks around, he begins to notice a change. The house is no longer as tidy as before. Garbage bags are lying around, and the usual sense of cleanliness seems to have faded. Later, the husband finally confronts the wife about her sudden change in attitude toward cleanliness. He tells her that their home has become unlivable, comparing it to a garbage dump, and admits that he can't tolerate it any longer. Overwhelmed and frustrated, he makes the difficult decision to leave. The wife is left stunned into silence. She struggles to process what has just happened, realizing how quickly things have changed, and is left reflecting on her choices and their consequences. What begins as a simple story about cleanliness slowly reveals something much deeper. The wife is not just obsessed with a tidy home, she represents control, structure, and certainty. Her world is ordered, predictable, and safe. But the moment she encounters the neighbor, that certainty begins to crack. The neighbor is not just a person, he is a symbol. A symbol of new ideas, of rebellion, of perspectives that challenge everything she once believed. At first, she resists him out of fear. But fear soon turns into curiosity, and curiosity into influence. Slowly, almost invisibly, she begins to change. The spotless house that once reflected her disciplined mind starts to fall into disorder. And with it, her identity begins to unravel. What was once clarity becomes confusion. What was once control becomes neglect. But the real tragedy is not the mess, it is the silence. She never shares her fears, her thoughts, or her transformation with her husband. And as communication fades, so does their connection. By the time he realizes what has changed, it is already too late. In the end, the story is not about cleanliness at all. It is about how easily we can lose ourselves when we accept new ideas without balance, how silence can slowly destroy relationships, and how small changes, left unchecked, can lead to irreversible consequences. Sometimes, the biggest transformations don't happen overnight, they happen quietly, one thought at a time. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.